Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A 12-year-old boy is dead after falling through the ice. And county deputies shot and killed an armed suspect after he pointed a firearm at them. The city of Edna and the family of a murdered cheerleader are recognizing her life.
And today it's going to be a bit of a warm day for December 9th all across beautiful Texas, but that's all going to change because we got a front coming our way tonight and bringing some mighty chilly mornings this week. We'll talk about all that and the weather coming up.
Coming up in sports, we're talking playoff football for high school and college football. See what the road looks like for your favorite teams in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. It's the beginning of another week.
Yes, and if you're looking forward to any kind of outdoor activity this week, today is the day because I believe it's going to be the warmest day this week.
I agree, yes. You are right on the money, Carol, and it is going to be a beautiful day today. I highly recommend what Carolyn is saying, getting out there and enjoy that lovely weather before that all changes tomorrow, because we got a front coming our way tonight. We're going to look at all that later on Sunrise, because right now, if you're tuning in with us, you're looking live in Victoria. You can see right there on the camera a little bit of that light fog I've been talking about all morning. 56 degrees in Victoria, 2.1 degree off at 55, bringing that humidity to 97%, which is exactly why this computer says a 5-mile visibility, but that is consistent right there, that visibility for the rest of the Crossroads. We're all seeing that light fog. Nothing super dangerous just yet, but if you do see any of that thicker fog, just please be careful on the roads. Use your headlights. Do not use your brights. Use your low beams. But otherwise, I might also recommend a jacket if you're heading out the door. A little bit cool out there, mid 50s, some of the low and upper 50s. Even those on the coast, you're next to that warm water, you're all in the 60s. But today, like I was saying, and Carolyn was just saying, it's going to be a warm, beautiful day today. Why? Because the winds have returned southerly. They're going to be picking up going into the afternoon. And the clouds are clearing. We're going to be cloudy in the morning, but sunny and beautiful in the 70s this afternoon. We'll look at the details of that and your day coming up next.
A 12-year-old boy is dead after falling through the ice in Albany's Washington Park over the weekend. Officers responded to Washington Park Lake in Albany around 4:30 p.m. following reports that teens had fallen through the ice. Firefighters and police were able to rescue an 11-year-old girl from the lake. She was treated at the scene and then sent to a local hospital. Crews continued the search for the second child and located the body of the 12-year-old around 7 p.m. In Florida, 2 Hillsborough County deputies shot and killed an armed suspect after he pointed a firearm at them Saturday night. A warning, this video is considered to be disturbing. The sheriff's office say the deputies responded to a Tampa home just after 11 p.m. following reports of gunfire. When deputies arrived on scene, they found 67-year-old Anthony DeDante in the bathtub. One of the officers moved the shower curtain back and saw blood on DeDante's chest and a firearm in his hand. DeDante was given several warnings to drop the gun. He did not comply and instead pointed the gun at one of the deputies. Both deputies shot DeDante, who died from his injuries. The city of Edna and the family of Lisbeth Medina are recognizing her life, as Thursday was the 1-year mark of her murder. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us with the timeline of events surrounding her death.
Thursday, December 5th, marked the 1-year anniversary for the death of 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina. Her accused killer, Rafael Romero, is near the start of his legal proceedings after police say he confessed to the crime.
When it comes to the gravity of what he did, I think the appropriate thing for him would be the death penalty, in my eyes.
Lisbeth was a 16-year-old high school student in Edna, finishing up a fall football semester as an Edna High School cheerleader.
She was not only an angel, she was an angel here on earth, and she's an angel now.
Romero was a 23-year-old, serving probation for a felony burglary charge and staying in Schulenburg with an expired work visa. Lisbeth and her mother Jacqueline lived in an apartment in the small town. On November 13th, that apartment was burglarized, and police say the crime may have been connected to the murder. The police also believe Romero stalked Lisbeth after the burglary. Just a few weeks later, a silver Ford Taurus belonging to Romero drove through the apartment complex on the night of December 4th. The next night, the city of Edna planned to hold their lighted Christmas parade. Lisbeth and the Edna cheerleaders were scheduled to march in the parade, and her mother Jacqueline was excited to see her daughter participate in the yearly tradition. Mental alarm bells went off when Jacqueline did not see her daughter with the rest of the cheer squad.
And I knew right away something was wrong.
Even more questionable was the fact none of her friends or cheer coach had seen her at school that day. Jacqueline sent a text to her daughter, to which Lisbeth did not respond. A group of Lisbeth's friends accompanied Jacqueline to her home, where they called out Lisbeth's name and hoped she was there. Jacqueline found her daughter, dead, strewn out in the back bedroom's bathtub. Her clothes were soaked, and she had visible stab wounds in her upper stomach area. The community held a candlelight vigil in her memory a few nights later, and her family in Nebraska held her funeral on December 12th.
I was shocked, and I grabbed my clothes and everything in less than 5 minutes, and I said, I'm ready. I need to be with my sister now.
But while her family laid her to rest, the police were hoping to make arrests. They used a string of disturbing details to follow the trail. For one, a man later identified as Romero was seen running to a silver Taurus from near the apartment the morning of Lisbeth's murder. The second piece of evidence, an anecdote from a neighbor claiming they heard 2 loud thuds and water running in the shower, a story that could explain the state in which Lisbeth was found. Finally, authorities say the suspect used Lisbeth's cell phone to respond to a friend that texted her the same night as the vigil. He also responded to Lisbeth's boyfriend at the time in the same manner. Both feared that Romero was targeting them as well. Authorities tracked the phone to Schulenburg, where they found the familiar silver Ford Taurus in front of a mobile home. A Texas Ranger confronted Romero, leading to a confession from the leading suspect. Police arrested Romero and searched his room, finding Lisbeth's wallet and several other personal identifiers. While in custody, Edna PD was awarded an ICE detainer after initially being denied. Now, Romero sits in the Jackson County Jail, waiting for his inevitable court proceedings in lieu of $2 million bond. Those proceedings have seen some delays and surprises. In February of this year, a grand jury indicted him of potential capital murder, believing there was enough evidence to take to court. In March, he did not attend his arraignment trial.
To see this full story, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. Remember, follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now just about 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Lara Trump looking to step down from her leadership role with the Republican National Committee.
After 5 decades of iron rule, the Assad regime overthrown in Syria. I'm Nicole D'Antonio with details on what comes next for the region and reaction from the White House.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, we got a warm day today, but that's all going to change with the front coming our way tonight. We're going to take a look at when that gets here and take a look at just how cold it's going to get coming up next in weather. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us here looking live in Cuero, still plenty cloudy out there as you can see, and it's a little bit cool, so I'm still recommending that jacket, although some of us actually probably love this kind of weather. A bit cool to me. I'm a warm weather kind of guy. 53 right now up in Cuero, dew point 1 degree off at 52, bringing the humidity to a high 97%, and that is enough to see a little bit of fog. That's why it's indicative of 4 miles here on the computer, so just be careful if you do see any of that thicker fog. That's not really thick fog. You might be seeing some thin fog with that level of humidity. But otherwise, looking at your clouds, we do have that thick plume of clouds over us. You can see it all over South Texas. Why do we have that clouds? Because we had that upper level low that is over the southern Rockies this weekend. That moved eastward, and it's right now located over western Tennessee and eastern Arkansas. That's going to bring us the front tonight. But if that one wasn't enough, we got another front coming over the weekend off this system in the Pacific. We're going to look at that later on sunrise. Because timing out the front that's coming our way overnight tonight. You can see it right here. It's going to be a really weak one at first when it comes through between 3 or 4 a.m., but then it's going to be reinforced with another batch of drier, colder air coming in right behind it, blowing in through all day tomorrow. And with that front blowing through, it's going to be a bit of a warm one today before it gets through. We're going to look at highs in the 60s tomorrow after it passes. And then when it passes, we're looking at some chilly mornings for Wednesday morning. Some in our northern counties could be at near or below freezing. So bundle up. Going to be a bit chilly out there this week before rain chances pick up this weekend. And we're going to look at that coming up next.
It's been an eventful weekend for the Edna Cowboys. We heard from Coach Mitchell and Braylon Harris after their big win against Llano. So now the stage has been set for the Cowboys' next playoff matchup. And it's safe to say that their hands will be full, taking on the Columbus Cardinals in the state semifinals. Columbus, a team that's quite familiar with the Crossroads. There you see them taking on Cuero at Gobbler Stadium. This all happening on week 1, and it was Columbus showing us early on that they are here to stay, beating Cuero. Final score 65-24. Edna's biggest obstacle for now in the playoffs, taking on a top 100 team in the state of Texas. But as Edna has shown, when faced with tough competition, they'll compete with the best. So can they get it done one more time before state? Find out this Thursday in Houston for the Class 3A Division I state semifinals. This action will be at Rice University Stadium. Kickoff is expected to be at 7 p.m. Ticket information will be available soon, so make sure you stay tuned for more information regarding the tickets. The regular season for college football concluded this past weekend, and we are in officially a new era of college football. A new extended postseason. We're talking more bracket games and teams that won their respective conference having a guaranteed spot to compete for the national title. And yesterday, the Longhorns, still unable to find an answer in their matchup against Georgia in the SEC championship game. They still find themselves in the playoff picture, but this loss only moved them down 2 places in the AP poll. So here's the official college football playoff bracket. The Longhorns' road to a potential championship looks a little bit longer than most here wanted. They're taking on Clemson who won their conference game this weekend, shortly before we went on the air against SMU. And if Texas wins that, they'll be taking on another conference champion in Arizona State, who beat Iowa State for the Big 12 championship. So this looks to be a long road for the Longhorns in this college postseason. And that does it for your sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. After nearly half a century, the long rule of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad comes to an end. Over the weekend, rebels took control of the capital of Damascus.
Celebrations across Syria after rebel fighters seized control of the presidential palace, ousting the longtime president from power. Video from inside the palace shows fires burning and some Syrians seizing valuables. Bashar al-Assad and his family leaving for Russia, where they were reportedly granted political asylum, according to Russian state media. President Biden describing the situation as a fundamental act of justice.
It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty. As we all turn to the question of what comes next,
the Islamist leader of the main rebel group, Abu Muhammad al-Gulani, is a former al-Qaeda commander who cut ties with the group in 2016. He has since tried to project a moderate image. Right now, nearly 900 American troops are stationed in Syria. Over the weekend, the U.S. launching airstrikes on at least 75 ISIS targets.
We're clear-eyed about the fact that ISIS will try to take advantage of any vacuum to reestablish its capabilities and to create a safe haven. We will not let that happen.
Meanwhile, there's renewed hope for the family of Austin Tice, the American journalist kidnapped in Syria in 2012 and believed to have been held by the Assad regime. President Biden saying, "We think we can get him back."
We're reaching out to anyone and everyone from the media, from the White House, from the State Department to do what they can to take advantage of this singular moment.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military sent ground troops to the Syrian border on Sunday to try and stabilize the area. This is the first time Israel has crossed into territory in Syria since the war in 1973. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Lara Trump says she will step down as the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. The daughter-in-law of President-elect Donald Trump made the announcement Sunday night on X. Lara, who is married to Eric Trump, says she will formally step down at the next RNC meeting. She did not mention her future plans, but there is speculation she is considering a run for U.S. Senate to replace Marco Rubio, who President-elect Trump has picked to be the next Secretary of State. The time now, looking at our clock up here, it is 6:46 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. Toxic shock syndrome. What are the causes and how can you prevent from becoming affected? All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Violet. Can't believe how fast and how tall you've grown now. Keep dancing through life and shining bright. From your friends and family. Love you always.
Oh, happy birthday, Violet. And also happy birthday to Flo and Sue. From your entire family, we love you both.
Happy birthday to my beautiful Aunt Victoria. You mean the world to me. Wish you a great day. Always your Dee Dee.
Oh, happy birthday, Victoria. And happy 8th birthday to Linda Rose. Mama and sisters love you very much.
Shark Tank entrepreneur and inventor Lori Grenier is 55 today.
Happy birthday, Miss Lori Grenier. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, looking at our clock up here, it is 6:47 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you celebrated over the weekend.
That's right, or over the weekend. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure some of y'all stepped your foot out the door this weekend and you saw some liquid coming from the sky. That means rain, something we haven't seen in a long time. And you can actually see that here on your rainfall totals map. But before we get to that, that actually leads us to today's weather poll. Today's weather poll asks, did you see any rain this weekend? And it looks like all 100% of y'all that had tuned in with us this morning are saying yes. But if you didn't, you can always vote no. Just go to crossroadstoday.com/vote whether to participate, and it will continuously have more weather polls for the rest of the week. So definitely tune in for those. But looking at your rainfall totals that we saw yesterday, this is actually the last 24 hours. Why is it not the last 48 hours? Because you may have noticed on Saturday, we didn't really get too much rain. Actually, really greatly diminished my rainfall chances all the way down to 10%. I was originally thinking we would see that. Sorry about that. I thought we would, but we did see it yesterday on Sunday. We saw a solid majority of us in the Crossroads saw about ½ an inch to an inch of rain, while everyone that was around 59 or south of that saw between £1/4 of an inch to ½ of an inch. Now, if you didn't see rain yesterday, we're not looking the greatest if you wanted to see any more rain for the rest of this week. I do have chances picking back up on Friday to 20%, maybe a few spotty showers in the area like you can see here. Really light rain if you do see any of that on Friday. But then as we go into Saturday, we're going to have another front come through, and that might spawn off some more rain, bumping up our chances to 30%. And that's going to be coming off of this big system out there in the Pacific. And like I said, that one will be bringing us some more chilly weather as we go into next week. But we're going to look at that and more coming up later on Sunrise.
Different types of bacteria can cause toxic shock syndrome, and it's been linked to the use of tampons as an uptick has been seen.
Shock syndrome, or TSS, is caused by toxins released by common bacteria like staph or strep. These toxins trigger severe inflammation in the body, leading to high fever, rash, low blood pressure, vomiting, or even organ failure. While tampons can increase risk for TSS, they are not the direct cause. Leaving a tampon in too long simply creates an environment where bacteria can thrive. The CDC recently reported a 20-year high in strep-induced TSS. There have also been reports of trace amounts of heavy metals found in tampons, though whether or not these pose any health risks is under FDA investigation. For now, experts say tampons are safe to use, but if you believe you're experiencing any symptoms of toxic shock syndrome, seek immediate medical attention. With this Medical Minute, I'm Zoreen Shah.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, have you or anyone you know ever suffered from toxic shock syndrome? Okay, let's take a look. 14% of you say yes, and 83% of you say no. 3% of you say you're unsure. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Several people overdosed after taking tainted drugs at a party. Police in Boulder, Colorado are investigating after 6 college students overdosed on potentially tainted drugs. Authorities say it happened Saturday night at a frat party at the Kappa Sigma House. Officers responded to the scene on Pennsylvania Avenue between 10 and 10:30 p.m. Several people were visibly sick when officers arrived and Noxalone was administered. Police believe the men had ingested a possibly tainted batch of cocaine. Alcohol was also involved at the party. All of the students involved are expected to survive. Victoria County Commissioners meet this morning at the Victoria County Courthouse at 115 North Bridge Street. That meeting starts at 10 a.m. They'll discuss several items from their agenda, including the Victoria Regional Airport and an incoming grant worth over $1.5 million. They'll also discuss finances and other topics as well, including accepting a $3,000 donation from Warriors Weekend for the helicopter monument at Patriot Park. The Humility Project in Victoria is working to keep the homeless warm this winter season. They are accepting donations until December 20th. They're looking for warm clothing and essentials like sleeping bags, blankets, hand warmers, gloves, beanies, scarves, and hoodies. They're accepting these items new or gently used. You can drop off your donations at the Dr. Petty Dodson Public Health Center with Be Well Victoria. That's at 2805 North Navarro Street. And you can also donate to Our Savior's Lutheran Church at 4102 Ben Jordan Street. For more information, call 361-433-5388. Texas leaders have shown a decades-long antipathy toward the health insurance program. If Trump makes severe reductions, it's unlikely leaders will have the political will to make up any lost federal funds with state money. That's according to experts. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's pay close attention to our forecast because we have some rocky weather days ahead of us, Parker, and there's a beautiful cloudy sunset. Whoa, very cloudy sunset on the coast. Do we need to watch out for fog out there?
Yeah, this morning, if you're tuning in with us, you can see here on the Port Lavaca camera, we're doing with a little bit of fog that actually just formed over the last 20 to 30 minutes or so. That's why you can see this computer says a 1 mile visibility. I might say around that as well, but 60 degrees out there on the coast. I might maybe recommend a jacket with that cool weather. But if you're going to be driving on the roads, you just saw the fog, just be careful, especially in the little bit lower elevated areas where that fog is a little bit thicker. But that fog will be clearing here over the next hour or 2 hours, and we're going to be having the sun come back out today, and we're looking for a warm day for December 9th all across Texas. Looking a little closer to home though, I'm thinking 78 for the high in Port Lavaca with, like I said, clouds finally clearing sometime in the early mid-afternoon time, bringing the sun back out. 79 for the high today in Victoria, and about 80, I'm thinking, today in Cuero. But Carolina was just saying, yeah, we got a front coming our way, bringing some chilly weather midweek, so I might maybe recommend going out and donating some warm clothes.
Definitely keep in mind the homeless also include children. There are homeless children out there, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us and join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovio, and Max tonight for 12 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.